Hello. There are 7 themes of Catholic social teaching which we'll be discussing today. Hopefully you've done the reading, and if you've done the reading first, which you're recommended to do, you have a basic idea what these 7 themes are. Here I'm going to go through these 7 themes briefly and give examples of each of the 7. The first of the 7 themes is the life and dignity of the human person. This is pretty simple. Every human being is made in the image and likeness of God. Therefore, every human being has dignity. If you want to create a genocide, if you want to destroy or kill an entire group of people, what you have to do is you have to treat those people like they are less than humans. You see this in every single genocide. You go to the Rwandan genocide back in the 90s, you go in the Holocaust back in the 1940s, and you go every genocide that's taken place before and after that. All genocides, what they do is they dehumanize the individual or the group. In all those genocides, they will call the people by some sort of a name of an animal or an insect. They will call them cockroaches, or they will call them rodents or rats, and they will treat them as something less than human. The first theme of the life and dignity of the human person says that every human being has dignity, and you cannot treat them then less than perfect. This is why the Catholic Church, we're against abortion, the death penalty. This is why we're against slavery. This is why we're against racism. This is why we're against bullying. If you look just at bully in general, what a bully does is they treat them as less than the respect they deserve. The second theme is the call to family, community, and participation. This theme is that we are to care for all members of our family and our community. We are a social creature. This theme recognizes that as human beings, we were created to interact with one another, and we are called to interact. We are not allowed to just stay isolated and not care, interact with other people. We must go out into our family. Human beings were created as family beings. We must go out into our community. We are called to participate. We cannot sit back and just watch the world pass us by. We are called to participate in our community. The third theme is rights and responsibilities. There are 2 sides to this. The first part is rights. Every human being has certain inalienable rights. These rights, the right to shelter, the right to food, the right to health care, the right to a job. You have all these rights that human beings have. The other side of it, however, is responsibility. Every human being has responsibilities that they must perform within society. Take the right to a job. You have the right to work. However, you have the responsibility to perform that job to the best of your ability. Take healthcare. You have the right to healthcare, but you have the responsibility to take care of your own body. This is where the society has an obligation to the person, and the person has an obligation to society. The fourth one is the option for the poor and the vulnerable. This is where governments, societies, and individuals must go help those who need it the most. Last time we talked about a bottom-up approach. If you want to know who should I help, you start at the bottom. Who are the most vulnerable? Who are the least? Who are the people that need the help the most? You help with them, and then you work your way up. That's why if you look at the organizations that the Catholic Church has, they generally work to these parts of our society. The most vulnerable are the preborn. The most vulnerable are children. The most vulnerable are elderly. The most vulnerable are the sick. In the Catholic Church, our organizations tend to go toward those individuals. The fifth one is the dignity of work and the rights of workers. This concept, this theme of Catholic social teaching says that every human being has the right to a safe job at a fair wage. Now, going back to rights and responsibilities, every human being has the responsibility to perform that job to the best of their ability. But this is a theme that says that human beings, as human beings, we are made with in God's image and have dignity. Therefore, our wages should reflect that. Our environment should reflect that. This theme really saw an enormous growth with the Industrial Revolution. With the Industrial Revolution, you had individuals working in really horrible conditions for long, long hours for low wage. And the Catholic Church spoke up against this a lot in the last 200 years. This theme of the dignity of work and rights of workers has been tied hand in hand to the Industrial Revolution. Before the Industrial Revolution, people had more freedom, may have lower wages, maybe in poverty, but there was more freedom in their work. But with the Industrial Revolution, you saw companies specifically and objectively and systematically oppressing the workers, putting down the workers in a way you had never seen before. And this theme was really spoken out by the bishops and by the popes over the last 200 years. If you go back and look at the church documents, it is obvious the church has cared for the rights of the workers. The sixth is solidarity. This is a pretty simple concept. We are one human family. You just don't care about the people in your community. We must care about everyone. Everyone is our community. Everyone. We care about brothers and sisters around the world. Solidarity is to care for people outside of your group. And so why should we care about the orphans in Kenya? Why should we care about laborers in Russia? Why should we care about the workers in Honduras? Because of solidarity. We care for everyone, especially and even those who are outside of our group. The final one is care for God's creation. This one's a little different in that the previous six dealt primarily with working other individuals. This one deals primarily with what God's given us. Go back to the universal destination of goods we talked about a week ago. The universal destination of goods is that all of God's creation is meant for humanity to enjoy. And this goes hand in hand with care for God's creation. God made this world for all of us to use and to enjoy. Therefore, we must care for God's creation. The important thing is we don't own it, we're stewards of it. You must know the difference between those two concepts, ownership and steward. Ownership says it is mine. I have control over it. I do with what I want. Stewardship says it belongs to someone else, but I have been given the task to take care of it. I can use it, must take care of it. Take a car, for instance, right? If you own your own car, it's your car. You can do with it what you want. You can use it for whatever you want. You can drive it whenever you want, and you can sell it whenever you want. But let's say it's your parents' car. If you use a car that belongs to your parents, they're the owners and you are the stewards. You use it for your needs, use it for what you have to do. You put gas in it, but you don't own it, which means you can't just treat it however you want. You can't sell it whenever you want. You can't paint it whenever you want. You can't do whatever you want to it. You have to care for it like it's somebody else's. Same idea with creation. The universe belongs to God, but He's given to us to take care of. And therefore, we must treat it as stewards. We have to care for it with recognizing that we don't own it. These 7 themes of Catholic social teaching, or some call it the best kept secret of the church. These 7 themes tell us how to interact with one another and how to interact with the universe that God has given us. Have a wonderful day. May God bless you.